Do you think it's better with glasses or not?
As you like. We are live, Vika.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's wait.
Just maybe it's some reflection. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So we will wait for 1 minute, Vika, so that people can come in slowly. They have time. So that's
will you see if people are coming?
Yes.
Will you?
So we are already live on Facebook. And so we will have in Facebook a chat, and we will check for the questions at the end.
Okay.
If there is any questions or anything that so people can write questions or
and you will see it.
I will see the questions and the comments, and you can see them too afterwards. You can go in Facebook and you will see them too. Yes?
Okay.
Okay, so what time do we have? So we'll wait 1 more second. So should we start?
Yes, please.
Okay. So good afternoon to all of you. Thank you for joining us in this new interview of these round interviews in biosynthesis. I have the pleasure today to introduce the director of the Biosynthesis School in Biosynthesis, Victoria Berezkina-Orlova. We call her Vika because it's a bit easier. So, but I didn't say it badly, no? It was good, Vika? Was it good?
It was reasonable.
Nice. Okay, so the topic of our interview will be biosynthesis as an approach in psychotherapy. What makes biosynthesis worth learning? Before we start the interview, I would like to present Vika for the people who don't know her, and also for the people who know you, also that they get to know you better. So Vika, she is a clinical psychologist and a psychotherapist, body-oriented psychotherapist for over 30 years. She's worked largely with borderline disorders and post-traumatic disorders. She's worked individually as a therapist, but also she's a trainer, senior and international trainer, supervisor, and she leads also groups in Russia. So it's nice to have you here so that we have more of the knowledge and what is going on in Russia, also outside of Russia. No? So thank you very much for joining us, for sharing your knowledge and your experience. This is a very large 30-year experience in the practice. So thank you, Vika.
Thank you.
Okay, so I would like to start with the question, because when I read your curriculum, the first thing that struck me was this large amount of years that you practice. When you look back, these 30 years, at the moment when you decided to become a psychotherapist, was it worth it to study body psychotherapy?
You know, I wanted so much to work with people. And I started to study psychotherapy more than 30 years ago, as you have already said. And that time I didn't know which approach I would like to belong to. So I started to taste. I wanted to taste different type of therapist. I studied psychodrama, Gestalt, Jungian analysis of dreams, process work, psychosynthesis, brief focus solution therapy, and something else. And then even before I started to work as therapist, I was leading some psychological trainings for the group for non-verbal behavior, how we can express ourselves not only with words, but with movement, face, etc. And this training, it was my first training, and it was based on Stanislavski system. Then Biosynthesis came to Russia. It was in 1994. And the first training was like a miracle for me. I was just sitting as if I was in a concert. And I couldn't even imagine that I could do it. I could do something like this. But then step by step, I became curious, involved. And finally, I have chosen biosynthesis. Even though during my training in biosynthesis, I also have some other trainings in some other approaches of body psychotherapy, which is body dynamic. So, and I combine everything. But because biosynthesis is open system, you are allowed to combine knowledges from different life fields. And because I wanted to work with people, I understood that I have to learn psychotherapy. It's not just a simple game. And so it was not only worthy, it became necessary for me to start psychotherapy, to have my own psychotherapy, and step by step. I started with group, but then I have my first individual clients, and then I went deeper and deeper and deeper. But you know, even though I started to learn biosynthesis in 1994, I'm still learning. I'm still learning biosynthesis. It's endless process.
Endless process. This is the beauty of biosynthesis.
Yeah,
This
yeah.
is the beauty. So you say that for you, you not only wanted to work with people, it was like a need. It was like an inner call, no?
We could say it.
So maybe there are people who are listening to us who also have this inner call or this need inside and want to work with people. What after all of these years, so people who are listening to us, after all of these years, what would you recommend to those who want to study psychotherapy?
It depends on a kind of education this or that person have. If for those people who don't have psychological education, I would recommend learn psychology. High psychological functions, children development, emotions, behavior, attachment theory, communication, conflict resolutions. So I would recommend them to learn psychology. For those people who doesn't have medical education, I'm not. I'm a psychologist. And for those people who don't have medical education, I would recommend to study at least some biology, at least some physiology, including physiology of movement and physiology of breathing. Of course, we need to have some knowledge about nervous system and also anatomy, including muscles, because I'm from body psychotherapy, and I think that we use body. We have to use body not only metaphorically. We have to know how this body can move.
Yes.
So then, after this background, I think that people have to learn at least brief history of psychotherapy. Then they have to learn brief history of approach they have chosen. So it's like this. When I started, I didn't think like this, but now I'm sure in it, because psychotherapy, it's not just a set of techniques. Yeah, it's not a mystery. We don't want to pretend that we are doing something and then something very nice happened. No, it's a work, it's knowledge. And I also think that it's an art. So it's a combination of knowledge and art.
What do you mean with art in psychotherapy?
I mean that, okay, we know a lot of theories. We have read a lot of books and articles. We know hundreds of techniques and exercises. But then you meet a person, you meet a client, and each person is unique.
Yes.
And you have to establish contact with this person. And you have to find a way to establish this contact. And then you go on a journey, creative journey. Sometimes it's a spontaneous improvisation. Important that it happens in very respectful and loving atmosphere. Then you have the other client. It's different journey. So you don't have in your work stereotypes, repetitions, cliches. So every time you have new journey. That's why I think that it's art. It's like you create with your client something new. You have to explore some new way. So for me, it's just so even though we have some theory and we have some technology, we cannot reduce psychotherapy to technology.
Yes.
Yeah. And one more thing. When we accompany our client in his journey, we are growing ourselves. So it's not only for our clients, it's a journey for ourselves. That's why psychotherapy is very valuable for me, both professionally and personally.
So it's like a nourishment for when it is nourishing the client, it also nourishes the therapist.
Yeah, I think that of course we have our beloved teachers, respectful teachers, but our clients also are our teachers.
Yes.
And our children also are our teachers.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yes. So, as a long-term body-oriented psychotherapist become, why do you think body psychotherapy is so relevant and so needed in psychotherapy, in psychology, in somatic psychology, in psychology in general? Why is it so needed?
Short answer.
Okay.
It's so needed because we have seriously the notion that body and mind are not just different things. It's the same. And because of this, we treat our clients in their wholeness. Yeah. And body psychotherapy, it's a distinct branch of psychotherapy, which have been developed from psychoanalysis, and particular from work of Reich, Pierre Janet, and others. And Reich concluded that unconscious material is in the body. So if we would like to work with some repressed material, repressed emotions, repressed knowledge, we have to address the body. And contemporary neuroscience is confirming it. So it's not just like fantasy. So it's just solid ground, has solid ground. And body psychotherapy can be a deeply transformative process. Bodily experience is always a key factor, because mind, the state of mind is a state of body. The state of body is a state of mind. And I think that one difference between body psychotherapy and other therapies is that we can access a person's experience from both point of view, mind and body. And we are working with this body-mind connection and encouraging gradually transition of repressed material towards the consciousness. Body psychotherapy can reach some places which other psychotherapies cannot. For example, we can work, I think that we can efficiently work with people who suffer from consequences of early developmental attachment trauma, where there are no any explicit memories, or some people have difficulties to express their feeling, but feelings are expressed through the body. Some people have difficulties to describe their feelings with words, but they can express it with the body. I think that body psychotherapy can work very good with post-traumatic stress disorders. Also with people who would like to feel more alive. Also with people who would like to be more in touch with their body. Some people are coming and say, you know, I feel myself as a dead person, or as a machine, or as a robot. And here, body psychotherapy can help, I think, I hope. Also, with by doing body psychotherapy, we can address difficulties at a level which are not accessible through words. For example, pre-verbal experience, early experience, even prenatal experience. So it's and one more thing, that body psychotherapy is a holistic approach, and body psychotherapy treats a person in his wholeness. not only the problem, but the whole person. And by the way, clients feel that they are seen in their holiness and they respect it.
Mm-hmm.
One more thing, that adding body psychotherapy to some existing approaches, for example, cognitive behavioral psychotherapy or psychoanalysis, just adding cannot make the practitioner a body psychotherapist.
Mm.
It's not just a set of techniques. It's not just, body psychotherapy is not just an idea of body-mind connection. Body psychotherapy is not just body work with. It's not just fitness. And also, body psychotherapy is not just psychotherapy with metaphorically using body.
Yes, I like this.
Yeah, it's something deeper. And in order to become body psychotherapists, you have to learn more. And it takes time. And it takes courage. Both. Courage from client and from you to do a body psychotherapy. But I think it's rewarding. Body psychotherapy can give what other psychotherapists, with all my respect to other psychotherapists, but I think that body psychotherapy can give much more.
I like to look at it as a form of psychotherapy that will be taken as normal in the future, hopefully.
Yeah.
So we will see. It's true that we live in a very cognitive world, so this is a difficulty to overcome.
You know, for example, I have a client who told me, who had some difficulties, and he told me, but I'm clever. And I told him, yes, but is it enough to solve your problems in, for example, in relationship? Is it enough? No, it's not.
It's not. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So going now specifically into biosynthesis body psychotherapy. How does biosynthesis enrich, and it's a fundamental tool for us in psychotherapy. How does biosynthesis enrich psychotherapy?
Mm-hmm. If you don't mind, I will give you just a couple of official things about biosynthesis. So biosynthesis became the first method of body-oriented or somatic psychotherapy, which was recognized as a scientific method by European Association of Psychotherapy and World Council for Psychotherapy. And it was in late 90s. It's one thing. The other thing is that in one of issue of International Journal for Body Psychotherapy, which was published by European Association of Body Psychotherapy, there was a research article on a survey which methods of body psychotherapy is more influential, had most influence on body psychotherapy. And biosynthesis was one of the three, the most influential method of body psychotherapy. It's just official thing, but I would like to tell more about biosynthesis because I love it dearly. So the main purpose of biosynthesis is to help client to move from problems to resource. In order this person, our client, can live his own life, full life, feel joy, satisfaction, and finally became a psychotherapist to himself. And biosynthesis is not a kind of therapy which is oriented only on problem solution. Biosynthesis is oriented on life. Yeah, biosynthesis, so integration of life. Yeah, life with its joy, goals, challenging problems, choices. So biosynthesis is oriented on life. And in order to help our client, we have to integrate feelings, cognitions, behavior. Look, A, affects, B, behavior, C, cognition, A, B, C of biosynthesis, as David told. I like David's metaphors. Yeah. In other words, we have to establish connection between three fundamental areas of human life: body or somatic experience, psychological experience, and also spiritual experience. About what is difference? One of the difference between biosynthesis and other approaches is that we are working with body, mind, and soul. And while we are working with body, mind, and soul, we have not to forget spiritual level. And it's very important in biosynthesis, and it's a contrast to some other approaches. We have not to forget about essence. And essence for us is much deeper than just unconsciousness. It's our inner ground. It's our inner truth. It's very important. And David told about biospirituality. It's one of very important concept in biosynthesis. And it's also different from some other approaches. And biospirituality is connected with development of qualities of heart, establishing deep contact with heart, expressing heart qualities in the world. So it's a embodiment of soul and spirit. Do you remember this article, David's article? Inspiration and embodiment. Yeah, so spirit in body and body of spirit. And now your question, how biosynthesis can enrich our practice. Yeah, there are a lot of very nice concepts in biosynthesis. They can tremendously enrich our practice. It's a concept of polarities, pulsation, motoric fields, landscapes. And I just would like to mention one concept I like very much. It's a model of life fields model. Your client can introduce his problem in one or several life fields. And then we can work with these problems with movement or with languages and meanings, or in the field of relationship, in the field of emotions, in the field of images, yeah, in the field of breathing. So different life fields. And then we are trying to make a bridge between different dimensions, between one field to another. For example, we can work with dreams, then we can work with breathing, with clarity of emotions. So we are trying to integrate all life fields. And none of these life fields can exist separately. We are whole world. And there is interconnection and interdependency between all these life fields. And in the center of this model is we can call it core, or we can call it spiritual dimension, or we can call it field of intentionality. Usually in biosynthesis we call it inner center or essence. And essence as a center of everything can determine all other fields. So everything is going under supervision, if I can use this word, under supervision of our inner center. But it's not so easy for some client to reach this inner ground, inner center, and because sometimes, not sometimes, often, people in order to reach their essence, they have to go through very so-called painful feelings. And for us, for biosynthesis therapists, reaching painful feelings is not the end of the road. We are trying to help our client to go through it and then to make a contact with inner center, with inner ground. Our client can be a master with capital M, master of his own life. Yeah. One more thing, which is very different in biosynthesis. In the course of biosynthesis, we learn a lot. But the model of education in biosynthesis is very different from other approaches. When we are studying biosynthesis, we are not giving any strict prescription. In this case, you have to do this step. In that case, you have to do that step. And our beloved teachers, they are not behave like gurus, who knows the only right way. And then when we are working with our client, we also are not giving them any strict prescription. You have to do this, and this is the only right way. We are not gurus to our clients. Yeah. For some people and for some approaches, strict protocol, do this, and this, is like more comfortable because it reduces anxiety. Yes. And uncertainty.
Yes.
But we in biosynthesis explore what is better for this particular client in this particular moment of his life. And also David told that we have to respect the speed, rhythm, and current abilities of our client. By the way, we have respect our own speed and our own abilities.
Yes, as a therapist.
Yes. and it resonates with what our famous Russian psychologist Vygotsky told about the zone of proximal development. So we have some skills, knowledge, I mean, different level, emotions, we have some relationship, and we can expand it. Some steps we can do by ourselves. Some step we can do only with the help of other person.
Yes.
And then by ourselves. But there are some steps we are not ready to do yet. So we have to respect our readiness. So in some sense, biosynthesis is like a biosynthesis therapist is like a dance in uncertainty in some sense. But how you can find new ways if you are sitting only in certain thing? Yeah, so it's a creative interaction with the person. We learn in biosynthesis to trust the process. So biosynthesis gives us foundation and context, but inside this context, we can be free for exploration, for using our clients and our own inner qualities. So it's like a combination of inner word and outer word. You know, it's like combination of structure and stream.
Yes.
So I like it very much. So also I like that biosynthesis is very open system. It's always in constant development. It's include new and new knowledge from neuroscience, from psychomotor development, children's psychomotor development, attachment theories, work with energy, meditation, spirituality, so dance, singing. So
all of these influence.
Yeah. For example, I have been studied biodynamic approach during 13 years. And I use this knowledge in the frame of biosynthesis. And some other colleagues which would like to study biosynthesis, they're coming from psychodrama, from Gestalt, from transpersonal psychology. Biosynthesis can enrich also these approaches.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, yes, sorry.
Yeah. You wanted to?
I wanted to only to say that this description that you just made of the qualities of the heart, of respecting the client, of respecting the tempo, of not fixing, putting stereotype interventions, you are talking about this method which is deeply respecting the human nature and the freedom of human nature.
Yes, I agree.
This is why it's also so valuable, because it has this you give this authority to the patient also to feel free within the therapy.
Yeah, we as David once told that we don't want to substitute client's parents' authority with our authority. So we would like to help our client to develop his own inner authority. So I like it. So it's like biosynthesis is truly oriented on life.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And on freedom.
Can I add just shortly a couple of things?
Please.
What I like also in biosynthesis that therapist-client relationship in biosynthesis are not reduced to transference and countertransference.
Nice.
Because there is a resonance behind transference and countertransference. And we have to find a way to establish this resonance. And when we are in resonance, we can communicate with our client beyond masks, roles, stereotypes, etc. Do you remember that David told that gram of contact is much more important and valuable than hundreds of techniques, tons of energy, etc. Gram of contact. So it's...
Yes.
And also, I made some interviews with senior trainers, and I asked them about whether there are any limitations in biosynthesis. And the answer is no. There is no any limitations for biosynthesis. We, as human beings, we can have some limitation. Of course, we are just human beings. But the way of learning is endless and very enriching.
This also makes it interesting when we have as therapists a very strict approach, then over the years it gets boring. When you have an approach that is more open and free and you have to explore and expose yourself, then it keeps interesting you over the years, no?
Yes. So biosynthesis can never be boring.
Yes.
At least it didn't happen in my life.
Okay, Vika, I wanted to ask you a question over a book that you're about to publish. So this is, I know that it's not yet ready in the market.
It's in publishing house. It's just the last step. It's there.
This is a book about biosynthesis. Can you tell us something about this book for the people who are interested and listening to us?
Yeah, with pleasure. Because we did a lot. This book can be just in reality. 1 year ago, last May, there was an international biosynthesis therapists meeting in Moscow. Yes. And there were professionals from different countries, from Russia, of course, more people than from other countries, Switzerland, Germany, Spain, Greece, Cyprus, Israel, Ukraine, Brazil. So all these people took part in this meeting. And then I think it was very fruitful and very nice and friendly. Do you agree with me? This meeting.
I liked it very much. It was, thank you, organizing.
And after this meeting, we started some new projects, exploration. For example, project work with groups in biosynthesis, work with energy in biosynthesis, some other projects. And now about the book. And with support of International Foundation of Biosynthesis, we decided to make a collection of articles of people who present their work in Moscow last year, and to publish a book. The title of this book is Past, Present, Future. This is the title of David's poem, and we will publish it in the book. And a book is publishing in 2 languages. We decided to publish 2 books. So they are similar. The same title, the same content. One is is published in Russian. One is published in English. So, it's a cover.
In the Russian cover, the Russian cover.
Yeah, and English cover is the same. It's
Yes.
written Biosynthesis, past, present, future. Past, you know, past is going behind the mountain.
Behind the mountains.
Yeah.
Right.
And so it's like a process. It's a movement. Yeah, and the same cover is, and this is a big. It's like continuation. It will be the book like this, both.
Where can we buy this book?
You know, we'll give this information a bit later. So we will make a, because now it's in a publishing house, and we will give this information. You know, because of Corona,
Yes.
because of COVID, it's difficult now to deliver this book to foreign countries. So we were planning to deliver this book in September to Haydn, where there are a lot of trainers, and then they can take it and spread in their countries. But because it was postponed, so just wait a bit.
Okay.
You will hold this book in your hand.
Okay.
I also want to add that it will be a very interesting book because there are several sections. Theoretical aspects of biosynthesis, practical application of biosynthesis. So it's like a potential of the method in different areas of life. Also, biosynthesis for children, highly demand now, because people would like to use biosynthesis with work with children, and also integration biosynthesis with other approaches.
Okay, this is also very accurate.
So, and we are very grateful to people who sent their articles. We are very grateful to David and Sylvia, of course, and we are very grateful to Foundation, International Foundation of Biosynthesis, because of support. And we are grateful to all people who work, translators, correctors. So we have it. I promise when our air connection will be open,
Yes.
so you will receive your book and we will make announcement where you can obtain this book.
People can buy it. Okay. So thank you very much, Vika, for the effort of the book, of the Congress, or the meeting we had, the international meeting last year. And thank you for the interview too, because I know you work today. You came from work to the interview. This is also something to be thankful of. And I would like to finish with a poem of David, the interview, if you like. And because I thought about this poem, because it has to do with art. This is the last poem of David, and art is very rooted in our method, as we are rooted in creation of ourselves, our personalities, and we have to be connected with this creative energy. So So the title of the poem is The Ongoing Journey. Traveling in the past is tunneling through memories of earlier landscapes of love and the beauty of wherever we shared our creation of life together. Traveling in the present is a fresh ride this Ascension Day on the 21st of May, looking to the mountains so far away, throwing their fountains of light over the valley to greet us on our way, as we glide through the forest with its endless panorama of trees waving to greet us in the breeze. Traveling in the future is taking care of each new breath and each fresh day, guided by poems and dreams about all that our world together means and all that we have still to share with so much wonder and care. Welcome to the next morning for our innermost dawning as we open to life as the deepest art, which flows forward between us from the heart.
Mhm.
So thank you, Vika, for being there, for giving the interview. It's a pleasure to be with you.
I just would like to say one sentence that on behalf of our Russian community, I would like to wish health and prosperity to David, Sylvia, all our trainers, all our Biosynthesis institutes, and the whole our community.
Thank you, Vika.
Thank you, Paz.
Okay, so bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye.
See you. Hope to see you soon.
See you soon.
Yeah. Bye.